workshop is. Thank you. So I want to welcome everyone to this workshop. The title of this workshop is Exploring Biases and Be the Change in Campus Cultures. So we have two wonderful presenters with us today. Just want to give them both an introduction. So we have Jeremy Wallace, who is an associate professor at College of San Mateo. Jeremy has served in a variety of leadership roles, including as president of the CSM Academic Senate, as president of the San Mateo County Community Colleges District Academic Senate, and as the coordinator of the CSM Umoja community. He has written and presented widely on race, educational equity, and social justice in community colleges, and he is a co-author of the book, Minding the Obligation Gap, Striving for Equity in Community Colleges and Beyond, and the forthcoming book, The White Educator's Guide to Equity, a Social Justice Manual for Community Colleges. Jeremy received his master's in English from Notre Dame de Namur University and his post-secondary teaching credentials from San Francisco State University. And you can learn more about him at jeremywallace.com. And so our second presenter, her name is Jeremy Taylor Mendoza. She's the Vice President of Instruction at Skyline College, and she's also an author of the book, Minding the Obligation Gap in Community Colleges, Theory and Practice in Achieving Educational Equity. She holds a PhD in education from Claremont Graduate University, and with over 20 years of higher education experience, Dr. Taylor Mendoza is continually inspired by the brilliance, power, and endless potential of community college students. Her research focuses on the intrinsic resiliency of students of color and institutional approaches to addressing systemic structural inequities. Dr. Taylor Mendoza is an elected executive board member for the state's chief instructional officers and serves as the CIO representative to the state's chancellor's Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Work Group. Areas of expertise are leadership development, program innovation, community partners, and institutional equity reform. So I just want to welcome both of you for being to this workshop. Thank you so much for being here today and leading us into this workshop. And we're just so excited to have you both be a part of this. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and turn it over to them so they can start their workshop.
Thank you so much, Catherine, and I'm going to share my screen. Just honored to be here and looking forward to having this time with you guys and in your training session and just having some rich conversations. So once again, my name is Jennifer Taylor Mendoza and I'm the Vice President of Instruction at Skyline College. And then I'm going to do that. Let me share my screen, then I'll start. It's always a little tricky at first. Okay, everyone can see nicely? Perfect. Okay, so the title of the workshop is Unconscious Bias, Student Leadership and Obligation. So we hope with our time with you today, we want to do a few things. We want to talk just about your voice and just the value of your voice. We're going to talk a little bit, obviously, about implicit bias and the importance of understanding who we are and our identity and what you bring to this work. We're also going to talk a little bit about code switching and what does it mean to have to be in an environment where you're trying to be yourself, but you also know that there might be some expectations and perception of who you are because of your ethnicity, race, gender, or whatever you bring. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then get into, Jeremy will get into just the importance of having, obviously, student voice a part of the evaluation process, the hiring process, and things of that nature. So what we look forward to really the most is once we're done with the presentation, having a great Q&A. And so we invite you to, ask anything of us, and so that we can just really begin to have a nice conversation. And so I like to start with this quote by Albert Einstein. And a lot of people don't know that Albert Einstein was such an activist, and he was such an advocate for equity and for racial justice. And he did so much work outside of his scientific acknowledgments. And so this quote really, to me, brings to bear the work and the conversation today. And he said, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it." And so think about that for a second. He said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. And you see this wonderful picture where he's working with historically Black colleges, and he's providing a training session to a bunch of African American men who were there at that year and that time. And to me, this really says that we have to begin to, in order to solve real world problems, in order for us to have a society in which we are proud of and want our children to live in, we need to begin to change our consciousness, become more informed and aware, and really begin to think outside the box on how we can address systemic issues. And so I really, really love this quote. I wanted to take some time just to praise you already. Student leaders, college students, K through 12 have been advocates in this work for so many years. And I wanted to take an opportunity just to really kind of just share some of these illustrations. I went online and I just literally looked up, student leadership and advocacy. And I saw these amazing images and faces of high school students, elementary school students even, that just really have been part of this work. And so this photo is right here. It says, "Am I next? Am I next?" And this had to do with the March for Our Lives, right? The work and the conversations around gun control, and in particular after the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. And so this is one image that just the young woman is there with the sign, just asking and activating. If we don't do anything as a nation, if we don't do anything as a country, am I next? And I thought this was just really, really powerful. Another one that we often see is, right, you have African-American men or just a group of individuals with their fist up high and just showing the unity and the power of, we will get through, we will overcome, we will walk. And I love this illustration, this imagery, because this is the work that you guys have done and the students have done for many years. And so it just really speaks to unity, and it speaks to resilience. This image I love, as we're in the election season, right? And many of you may know that for African Americans in particular, and still today, voting has been so complex. The society, this nation has made it so challenging for us to vote. And what you see here is an image from the civil rights era where you have people actually registering African Americans, teaching them how, what to do, they need to do in order to vote. And then you have a group of children, waving to the camera. So this is a really powerful image. And it's interesting that we're still dealing with this today, right? We're still in situations, African American communities, where they're short-staffed and they're not able to vote, or the voting procedures are confusing intentionally. And so I thought this was perfect right now. And look at even the sign, "Avoid long lines later," right? Just all of these imagery, these images, and it really speaks to what we're going through now as a nation. I love this. You see more and more women out there, right? And just a collection of the diversity, the diverse faces, the gender, right? The image of just students, once again, powerful, hand up, risen. We are going to fight. We are going to do this together. And so I really just appreciate this image. This is from the BLM movements, Black Lives Matter, just recently taken. And you see the smile, you see the passion, and you see the solidarity. This one, again, is the March for Our Lives. I was really captured by this image because you see just mass of signs and color and just, folks, students who are just patient and are out there and just in this sort of community for a cause. And so as I think of the community college system, as I think of what we're facing as a nation, I think it's so important that that students continue to know this space is so essential to change. This one is not as, it makes me sad, but it's very powerful as well. This is during the civil rights era, where you had college students who were part of sit-ins. They called them sit-ins. And this was when, obviously, we had segregation, right, where African Americans weren't able to be in operations where it says it was for only whites. And so you have students at a counter forcing themselves into a counter, sitting there at like a bakery or some sort of diner, and you see a young man, a white young man, and you see a white young woman with an African-American woman, but then you see this crowd behind them, right? This hostile crowd, and they're putting drinks on them and putting sugar and flour. So in this activism work, as we know, it's not rosy usually, right? Whether you're getting arrested or whether you're being tormented, tortured, beaten, things of that nature. But I wanted to show this because these are college students your age, that said, no matter what, no matter the pain, we are going to fight for a cause. This one, another one, just really demonstrating, can't eat, don't buy, right? Once again, if we as people of color are not able to sit in your facilities and eat dinner and be welcomed, then we will not buy. Another boycott, right? And we see that happening even now, more and more. And this one, of course, we are the future. And I love this slide because to me, you are the future. And the reason I'm here today, the reason I'm excited to be here on a Saturday with you, or get you, all of you, is because I know you are the future. And I want to do everything I can to help you, whether it's through training or just through encouragement, continue that legacy. And then, of course, we cannot forget Emma Gonzalez, right? Her powerful words after the shooting at Stoneman Douglas, you know, just her passion and her fearlessness, and just that speech is just amazing. So I had to show this, that the face in the moment was very, it was life-changing for me as an adult. So it was just super powerful. And then, of course, continuing the Black Lives Matter, defunding the police, you know, giving voice and to power, you know, truth to power, you know, providing, you know, explanations and just research and just understanding of it. I think so oftentimes we feel that youth can't bring anything to the table, right? That your words, you don't know enough, or you're not educated enough, or you're too emotional, or you're too that. It's not that way. And I want to encourage you throughout your life, make sure to add your voice no matter what, and don't be silenced. Don't let anyone silence you. And then, of course, I think this is the last one, where you have African Americans, like I talked about, at the counter doing sit-ins. And this actually was really powerful, just because you see sort of our white colleagues there with African Americans, just in total unity. And so I wanted to share those images with you, because I think leadership, and implicit by it to me, is really about knowing who you are and understanding your role in society, right? And that takes some time. And so what I would like to do, sorry about that. What I would like for you to do is take time to do this little activity. And so we're going to take about 3 minutes, and then I'm going to have you, I'm going to show the next slide, and then I'm going to send you off in breakout rooms. So take some time to get a pen or get a sheet of paper. And then I'm trying to move this real quick. Okay, there we go. And you're going to place your name in the center circle, and then write an important aspect of your identity in each of the satellite circles. So write the circle. So you're going to put your name in the middle, and then on the little circles outside, you're going to put an important aspect of who you are. So African American, or educator, or scientist, athlete, you know, sister, brother, daughter, mother, you know, something that's significant for you. And so we'll take about 3 minutes to do this. I'll give you a chance. So we'll stop at like 3:19 to give you a chance to get started. And then I'll go show you the next part, next slide. Okay, so give me about 30 more seconds. Okay, we're gonna, hopefully everyone had a chance. We're gonna transition. And so it says circles of my multicultural self. And so what I would like you to do is I'll give you a minute before we go into the breakout rooms, but once you get into the rooms, I would like you to share a story about a time you were especially proud to identify with one of the descriptors you used above. Share a story about a time it was especially painful to be identified with one of the descriptors or identifiers that you use. Name a stereotype associated with one of the groups with which you identify that is not consistent with who you are. Fill in the following sentence. I am a blank, but I am not a blank. So if one of my identifiers was Christian, and I thought a stereotype was that all Christians are radical right Republicans, my sentence would be, I am a Christian, but I am not a radical right-wing Republican. And so I'll sit for about 20 seconds, and then what we'll do is put you into breakout rooms for about 6 minutes to give you a chance just to have some conversation about this, share. It's not too much time, but just start. Even if you share just one thing, that would be great, or decided to focus on one thing. Okay, so in about maybe 10 seconds, Julie, feel free to put everyone in breakout rooms.
Yeah, I'm ready. Open them?
Please do, yes.
Okay.
Women don't, there's something's going on. And so that's just something, I have to monitor myself because it's something silly and simple, but it's still around that first impression. Anything you want to add, Jeremy? Or I'm pretty clear? Okay. Another one is performance bias. Performance bias occurs when people who are part of a dominant in-group, such as whites or men, are judged by their expected potential and are perceived as naturally talented. We know this already, right? While those who are part of a less dominant out-group, such as people of color or women, are judged only by their proven accomplishments or are deemed to have gotten lucky when they do succeed. And this is something that we're really familiar with when we think about who's in education, who's seen as intelligent and talented. And I think it was an article that just came out, and I thought it was Wells Fargo, but I could be wrong, where the CEO was asked, why aren't there why doesn't he have enough Black employees? And he said, well, because there's not enough talent in the Black community. And so, just that performance bias and that expectation, I believe it was Wells Fargo, but, a comment like that just shows that bias. And so who is talented? Who is able to work at, Wells Fargo? Another one is the gut intuition or gut feeling is commonly defined as a decision we reach without a conscious reasoning or process. And I even have to watch out for this. I'm super guilty of this. And so my gut it says here, don't let your gut trick you. And I would say that for you as well. There are sometimes we feel things, but we want to make sure that we have people around us who have a diverse perspective that we can check in on. And so I might say to Jeremy, oh, I felt this way on the hiring committee, and I may need to share it. And he might say, well, that could be more about your bias, Jennifer, and really not the situation. And so you need to have people around you who can provide you that clarity. Anything else on that? Okay. And I'll get into microaggressions, but Jeremy may touch upon it later on. And so there are 3 types of microaggressions: micro assault, micro insult, and micro invalidation. And micro assault is what we commonly see, right? Discriminatory comments such as, you know, the racial epithets, the thing that Alexandra, the person that said to her about, you know, she wouldn't be here, if Nazi Germany didn't kill. So something, I don't even want to repeat it because it was so horrible, but that's a great example. I also shared that, you know, early on in my elementary days, I was, you know, called the N-word. And so those are the things we see that are sort of really overt and sort of out there. The micro insults are like rude or insensitive comments that racial minorities hear frequently. You know, this could be insinuations that minorities are only hired through like affirmative action, right? Little insults here and there. I'm trying to think of ones that throughout my life, there's been so many. So I'm trying to think of some examples. Can you give a good example of a micro insult that you've either had or heard?
Well, some common ones are that I know of, especially in a college atmosphere, would be like asking a Black student how the football game went over the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Or asking what sport he plays, or mistaking any student of color with another student of color, like calling them the wrong name. Right. So those are all just like little kind of micro insults and invalidations.
Yeah, very, very good one. And you got into that one. And one that I got a lot, micro invalidation, is you speak so great English, or you articulate so well, or where do you come from? You know, just like kind of crazy things. Or the other day I had someone say something actually about my hair, your hair, you know, it just all kind of insensitive comments. And you're just wondering, like, why did that person say that? But, you know, these microaggressions, they're there, and we have to even be mindful of the ones that we believe in or say that ourselves. So I wanted to give you just sort of some simple examples of microaggressions. Do you want to add anything, Jeremy, before we move on?
Yeah, I'll just kind of maybe just bring up Ibram Kendi's kind of argument, yes. Right? Yeah. So Professor Ibram X. Kendi's he's a history professor at Boston University, but he's also the author of some pretty famous books right now. So how to be an anti-racist, stand from the beginning. But he rejects the whole idea of microaggressions altogether, right? Because like, as I put in the chat, there's nothing micro about microaggressions, yes. Right? And so he actually prefers the term racial abuse or racist abuse, mm-hmm. Right? Because that's exactly what we're talking about here, right? And if we're talking about like microaggressions towards like women, like let's just call it what it is, like sexist abuse, right? And so I feel like sometimes like the term micro just makes it seem like it's not that big of a deal. And in fact, it's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So we're going to switch quickly, and we can come back if you have questions. It's just the importance of identity and mask. And it says a mask is how we present ourselves in different social situations. So a part of understanding our own bias, a part of leadership is really beginning to understand the masks that we put on in society, or the masks that have been put on for us, and why we continue to let the mask affect us, or why do we continue to have some sort of persona if it's not really true to who we are. And so I have a poem. It says, she had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by and never knew. And so just think about that a little bit, and we can come back to it. I usually ask, what is this poem about? But just because of timing, we can circle back to it. I wanted to show a quick video.
Was that Shel Silverstein?
Yes.
Was it nice? I can tell by the illustration.
Yes. I want to show a quick video if I can get this out. There you go.
Stop crying. Stop with the tears.
Don't cry.
Pick yourself up. Stop with the emotion.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't let nobody disrespect you. Be cool and be kind of a dick.
Always keep your mouth shut. Nobody likes a tattletale.
Bros come before hoes.
Don't let your woman run your life.
You lit. What a fag. Get laid. Do something. Be a man. Be a man. Grow some balls. The 3 most destructive words that every man receives when he's a boy is when he's told to be a man. We've constructed an idea of masculinity in the United States that doesn't give young boys a way to feel secure in their masculinity, so we make them go prove it all the time.
Within their peer group culture, each of them is posturing based on how the other boys are posturing, and what they end up missing is what they each really want, which is just that closeness.
In good times, guys are like really close to each other, but when things get a little bit worse, you're on your own.
From middle school, I had 4 really close friends. Once I kind of went into high school, I struggle finding people I can talk to because I feel like I'm not supposed to get help.
Our kids get up every morning. They have to prepare their mask for how they're going to walk to school. A lot of our students don't know how to take the mask off. What is it you don't let people see? Almost 90% of you had pain and anger on the back of that paper.
If you never cry, then you have all these feelings stuffed up inside of you, and then you can't get them out.
They really buy into a culture that doesn't value what we've feminized. If we're in a culture that doesn't value caring, doesn't value relationships, doesn't value empathy, you are going to have boys and girls, men and women go crazy.
I had anger issues in high school. I felt like an outcast.
I've been suspended at least once every year I was here.
We would just look for trouble and just like try to fight.
Boys are more likely to act out. They're more likely to become aggressive. Most people miss that as depression, or see it as a conduct disorder, or just a bad kid.
I felt like just giving up on life. You know, I actually had suicide thoughts in my head at 6th grade.
I felt alone for a long time, and I actually thought about killing myself.
Whether it's homicidal violence or suicidal violence, people resort to such desperate behavior only when they are feeling shamed and humiliated, or feel they would be if they didn't prove that they were real men.
If you're told from day one, don't let nobody disrespect you, and this is the way you handle it as a man, respect is linked to violence.
If I can man up, why step down from that, you feel me? It's like instinct.
So man up, man up, man up, man up. Toss a fucking ball. Act like a man.
Be a man.
Be a man.
For my kids, I was going to end this hyper-masculine narrative here.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
You're good.
I'm good. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I like to show, and so you know, obviously when I have the PowerPoint, I can't see. I really like to show that video, and whether it was men or it was women, it just gives a really great example to me about how we're socialized and how to put on these masks and these personas, and then it could really obviously cause harm. And so as we're doing this work, as you're leading, as you're trying to figure out your own implicit bias or why you might feel this way and how you're going to champion change, it's really important to understand the mask that you put on yourself, the mask that I put on. And another piece of this is code switching. And Chandra Arthur does a lot of work around code switching. And she talks about the pros of code switching, right? The codes of, and I mean the pros of code switching, but she also speaks about the cons of code switching as well. And so I wanted to show a quick video too about code switching.
Thank you, and may God bless America.
Introductions in Italian. This is John O'Rourke.
Nice to meet you, John.
Mr. Ian Roberts.
Nice to meet you.
Peter Tensio.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Jerome Smith.
Come on. Well, what's up, fam? You know this.
Keith Williamson.
Nice to meet you.
Mary
All right.
Woodbury.
Nice to meet you.
Jay Martell.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Tasha Robbins.
Come on, come on, come on. Feel that?
Emily George.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Daryl Stokes.
Come on. What's up, fam? How you doing? Never forget about that, because that's all we got. Nice to meet you. All right. Oh, bring it in. Starting from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah. Nice to meet you. All right. Nice to meet you. All right. Nice to meet you.
1/8 black.
Afternoon, my octoroon. Come on, bring it in there. Tuck that.
I'm in there, dog. I'm in there, dog. I'm in there, dog.
You tucking it in there? What you tuck though? What you tuck though? You tuck it?
I'm in there.
Come in there. Come in there. All right. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Nice to meet you. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Oh, she is so beautiful. I want another one. There you go. Precious. Beautiful. Beautiful. What's her name?
This is Livia Ruggi.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Miss Ruggi. All right. Now, come on. There he is. Boom. All right, very good to meet you. All right.
Here we go. Right this way, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Technology. And so this is your slide, right, Jeremy? Okay, I want to just end that, and the reason, and that's obviously a more humorous clip than the identity, but all of it plays a part, whether it's these masks that we put on because we've been socialized or because we're afraid to be who we are, or we have to code switch because we feel that if we don't code switch, we won't be as accepted, or we're code switching to be accepted by even our own group. All of this is really important and plays a part when it comes to understanding our own biases and even understanding how we're going to show up and be leaders. So I'll stop there.
Are you going to leave your PowerPoint up, or do you want to put mine up?
Okay, I'll stop sharing, Jeremy, or do you want me to?
You can just do it. I don't mind saying next.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, cool. Right on. All right. So thank you all for having me, and Dr. Taylor Mendoza to speak with you today. This is super exciting. Me and Dr. Taylor Mendoza have been presenting with each other often the last few months, and this is the first time we've gotten to speak to students. So this is really exciting. Really, really pumped about this. For my talk, I'm really going to kind of flip the script a little bit. So Dr. Taylor Mendoza really focused on kind of your implicit bias, right? She asked you to kind of think about yourself. I'm going to really ask you to think about others, right? And so, just as you hold implicit biases towards people with different identities than you, right? The faculty, college staff, and even fellow students have implicit biases about you, right? So these implicit biases are the result, as Dr. Taylor Mendoza said earlier, of the dominant narratives about people with your identities, right? So whether you're a student of color, a member of the LGBTQ community, a member of a religious minority, foster youth, right? Whatever it is, you have an identity that other folks hold implicit biases about, right? In fact, if you really think about it, right, there are assumptions and biases associated with every single community college student that steps onto a campus simply for being a community college student, right? When I was in college, I did not start at a community college. I did all 4 years at university, but I remember over the summer, every once in a while, I would take a community college class, and I remember having those biases towards my classmates, right? I'd step onto that community college campus and I'd be like, oh, they're community college students. And then I'd have all these kind of stereotypes about them, right? Didn't matter that I was in a high level class with them and they were doing just as well, if not better than I was. And it doesn't matter that the teacher that I had the teachers I had those summers were better than a lot of the teachers I had at the university, right? That's just how ingrained the stereotypes are, right? So I want to talk a little bit about critical race and legal scholar Richard Delgado for a second. And you'll see that there's a quote there on the left-hand side of the screen. All right, and he writes that, quote, "The dominant group creates its own stories. The stories or narratives told by the in-group remind it of its identity in relation to out-groups and provide it with a form of shared reality in which its own superior position is seen as natural." All right, so let's break this down for a second. And by the way, that's by Richard Delgado in his legal article, Storytelling for Oppositionists. So let's break this down in the context of community colleges. All right, we have many other forms of power dynamics in play in a community college. Right, we have like kind of class, right? We have gender, we have sexuality. All right, the one I'm personally most interested in, and the one that has been the forefront of our nation recently, is race relations, right? So kind of race-based power dynamics, all right? As you'll see on the right-hand side of the slide there, right, you'll see that in the California community college system, 48.7% of all administrators are white, all right? That's by far the largest group or the largest demographic, all right? In the classroom, 58.54% of all tenured and tenure track faculty are white, and 58.38% of all adjunct faculty are white. All right, and then if we look at the rest of the campus, right, we have the staff, classified professionals, all right, and 38.77% of them are white, right? And while that, you see that they're not in the majority in this case, that is still the largest demographic in the system, all right? This is system-wide. So the question is, why is it important to know this, all right? And the reason why is because the in-group in California community colleges has traditionally been and continues to be white, which means that the majoritarian narratives, the dominant narratives about higher education have been established by white folks. All right, this is why when you go into your classroom, right, or many of your classrooms, the curriculum is almost exclusively Eurocentric, and why the norms, mores, and values of a college campus center Western Europe. This impacts every part of the institution, from the pedagogy, so the way that your instructors teach you, to the hiring process, to the way that budgets are allocated, right, to the evaluations of the faculty, staff, and managers on campus. All right, so we'll go to the next slide, please.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where am I at here? Sorry. There you go. Okay, cool. Good. Okay.
Is
So
that right?
yeah, sorry. I just want to.
Okay.
So let's take a quick. Sorry, do you want to say something, Jennifer?
No, that's the correct slide.
Okay, cool. Yep. So I want to take a quick detour. All right, at the end of the, and just bear with me for a moment because there's going to be kind of a big detour. All right, but I promise I'll come back to governance. All right. But the end of the civil rights movements of the 1950s and 60s, all right, the nation, or at least the nation's powerful elite, started to promote an ideology of colorblindness. All right, it might seem strange that such an ideology would come out of the civil rights movement, right, which highlighted race. All right, so let's look at colorblindness's birth. All right, during the civil rights era and even before, all right, the average white American predominantly saw three groups in the fight for equal rights, right, in this whole civil rights era. All right, the first one were the white supremacists, right, who were fighting voraciously to maintain Jim Crow and other white supremacist systems. All right, these are the guys that wore the hoods and the swastikas. All right, these are the white folks who we often call white supremacists, or more recently, white nationalists. Right, the average white American during the civil rights era saw Klansmen and neo-Nazis burning crosses, lynching African Americans and other Black and brown people, and a whole lot of other violent and despicable acts. All right, but the average American also noticed that these people were very focused on race and their belief in the superiority of whites. All right, these were the people shouting white power. All right, and then on the other end of the spectrum, the average white American saw folks like Malcolm X and groups like the Black Panthers. All right, and while these civil rights leaders never committed any acts that like the white supremacists did, right, the average white American did see Malcolm X, or heard Malcolm X calling white folks devils, and they saw Black Panthers walking around Oakland with guns, right, an act that had and continues to frighten white Americans. All right, so it's important to note, though, however, just this quick side note, that the mainstream media did highly misrepresent groups like the Black Panthers. All right, and even the history books today completely omit their community services and like the educational programs that they had for young people and the lunch programs. But anyhow, the average white American during the civil rights era saw Black folks shouting Black power. Most of us know that white power and Black power express completely different values, right? The former is meant to oppress, the latter is meant to uplift or liberate. All right, but the average white Americans during the civil rights era, the focus on race was deeply concerning. They saw white power and Black power as identical ideologies on the same side of the coin, right? But during the civil rights era, white Americans were also presented with a third door, right? And that was colorblindness, right? And they felt validated, right, when Martin Luther King stood on the steps of Lincoln Memorial and professed, quote, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." We all know today, hopefully, that quote has been taken way out of context, right, and as a justification for colorblindness, all right? But during the civil rights era, the average white American, for them, it meant racial equality meant the end of race, all right, and the beginning of colorblindness, okay? So if you had these average white Americans and the powerful elite, right, except for maybe the exception of Mitch McConnell, right, he still likes his Confederate flags. You he had them looking at the first group thinking like those weirdos in sheets are deplorable people and their focus on white power is radical. And then they were looking at the second group thinking, all right, they have cooler outfits, but they're holding guns and shouting black power, so they must be dangerous, right? So white Americans started to believe race consciousness was a negative thing, and that the best way to eliminate racism was to stop talking about it altogether. So this has led to a reality wherein the rejection of race by white Americans has led to a wrong-headed belief that only white supremacists like the KKK, neo-Nazis, and members of the alt-right are capable of committing racism. And for white community college educators, this means that they look around at their colleagues, they look around their campuses, and they say to themselves, you know, my colleagues aren't neo-Nazis, they're not members of the alt-right, so racism can't exist in the college. All right, but as we all know, racism didn't go away, right? It just went underground and it got recoded. As a result, when a professor sees a black student with a hoodie, for example, they start to make assumptions about that student because they unconsciously associate hoodies on black young men with danger and the hood. All right, these are the unconscious biases that we've been talking about. All right, and they lead to an ideology that soon results in some pretty insidious deficit thinking that reads something like this. All right, and this is where the unconscious bias starts to like percolate up in many of the educators on our campuses. They might say, for example, if this black or brown student is disinterested in my class or struggling in my class, it can't be because of my pedagogy and my curriculum, because I teach the class the way it's supposed to be taught, right? The way it's always been taught. All right, therefore the student must be struggling because they are unprepared or because they come from a neighborhood or family that doesn't value education. All right, some professors may even believe that black and brown students simply don't have the innate intellect to succeed in their classes, right? And so this is why I just like to make sure people understand that unconscious biases are not victimless and they're not innocuous, right? They have real consequences and they come up in these types of beliefs, right? If you call somebody who thinks like this on these exact values or these beliefs, they're not going to say it's racism, right? They're going to say that this is the way it is, right? But it is in fact racism. Let's be clear about that. All right, racism has changed drastically in the last half century and is manifested in what Eduardo Benio Silva has termed colorblind racism. As a result, the dominant narrative has become one in which racism doesn't happen on a college campus. So when a student has been a victim of racism, for example, and they speak up, it becomes unbelievable to the people who hear it because racism can't happen on a colorblind campus, right? So let's go to the next slide, please. Perfect. So I know this is a lot, all right, but bear with me, all right, because like Lin-Manuel Miranda writes in Hamilton, I'm a big Hamilton fan, as y'all probably find out when you talk to me, but he says, quote, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, all right, and the dominant narratives are no exception. All right, Delgado also describes what he calls counter stories. All right, and counter stories are, quote, challenge the perceived wisdom. They can open new windows into reality, showing us that there are possibilities for life other than the ones we live. They enrich the imagination and teach that by combining elements from the story and current reality, we may construct a new world richer than either alone. So students have powerful stories, counter stories to tell that resist the dominant narratives and stock stereotypes that many of us educators have established about students. All right, and the students also have the most powerful voices on campus are the student leaders. All right, so to provide a quick example, I know we're kind of getting low on time, I want to make sure we have some Q&A. When I was the president of the CSM Academic Senate, we were talking about equity and justice, right? We're kind of in our early conversations. And we had a member of the Senate who just kind of came out and said, like, does racism really happen in the classroom? Do students really get microaggressed? They're just kind of questioning the whole conversation. All right, and the person that kind of like dropped the mic and really kind of told us how it was the student body president, who at that time was an African-American male student. All right, and he used that opportunity to talk about his experiences in the classroom, right? And I would imagine that most of the faculty there were probably awestruck because, I mean, this kid looked like Tiger Woods, right? He was rolling around in khaki pants and a polo shirt, just like very like kind of well kept. And, you know? And so people are like, oh, wow, like he experiences microaggressions, or like he experiences racism. Like, that's serious, right? And so it was his story that really kind of changed the tenor of the conversation that day. And I think really kind of put us down this road where we could really start having these discussions and making changes on our campus. All right, so student voices are so powerful. All right, these types of counter stories are so powerful. All right, especially when they come from student leaders. All right, I can walk into spaces on my campus, into meetings, and tell my colleagues about the experiences of our students, right? But they won't resonate in the same way, all right, as when it comes from one of you all right? Those who actually experience the oppression and the discrimination. All right, furthermore, counter stories aren't exclusively about experiences that challenge the belief that widespread racism is over. Right? Counter stories also come in the form of stories of accomplishments. So when a Black or brown student gets admitted to an Ivy League, or has their film accepted to a film festival, or is published in a prominent literary publication, all true stories, those contribute to the corpus of counter stories that resist the dominant narratives about students of color. All right, so use these counter stories as ammunition and barrage your professors, administrators, and staff with them. All right, and just as a side note, this goes for all student leaders. All right, Dr. Taylor Mendoza showed several powerful images where Black and white students and activists were marching and fighting for justice together. All right, so if you're a white student leader, you also have an obligation to use your privilege to fight for equity and justice. All right, so let's go to the next slide, please. I think I got two more, and then we can open up for questions. So I guess the logical question then becomes is where and how, all right? And as student leaders, your voice belongs in the shared governance framework of your institution, all right? So in places like the Academic Senate, the Institutional Curriculum Committee, the Institutional Planning and Budget Committees, all right? You all have the right to serve on these committees. You actually have a legal right to serve on these committees. All right, and you have an obligation to raise your voice when you're on these committees when you see something that is wrong, all right, whether it's a new policy that might disproportionately impact certain student groups on your campus, or when someone else on the committee says something that might be problematic, right? They might microaggress, right? Or they might say something insensitive, all right? Furthermore, you need to demand that students are included in the hiring and evaluation processes. You all are the reason our colleges exist, all right? And you have a stake in who is hired and who gets promoted, all right? These colleges don't exist for me or for Jennifer or for Julie or for any of our colleagues, all right? If we want institutions that exist for us, we need to move our butts down to the R1 universities, all right? Community colleges exist for the community, all right? And that's you. So kind of the moral is like you need to take ownership over what you are entitled to, which is a quality education that values your experiences and identity and gives you a voice in the direction of your college. All right, and so let's go to the next quote. I think this is my final one. Yep, perfect. So I did want to end on a quote by Kwame Ture. You all might know him also, Stokely Carmichael. He was a member of the Freedom Riders, right? The SNCC, the Black Panthers, just a very prominent civil rights activist, all right? And his quote is, unity is not a feeling. Unity is not an emotion. Unity is a means of channeling the energies of the people towards given objectives within principles. When you mobilize, everybody can be against the same thing. When you organize, everyone must be for the same thing. You mustn't think that everybody against the same thing means that everybody is for the same thing. That's where the confusion arises. And unity doesn't represent what you are against. It represents what you are for. Consequently, when one speaks of unity, one must speak of organization. No people will ever be free unless they are consciously organized. All right, as student senates, all right, when you go back to your campuses, or to your virtual campuses at this point, but when you get there, when you get back amongst your fellow students, you must be united against all forms of oppression, hatred, and discrimination, from racism to sexism to trans antagonism to Islamophobia to anti-Semitism. All right, this is a given. All right, the harder, and as Ture would argue, more important part is organizing around a vision for what you would want your campus to look like. All right, is it that you want a campus-wide curriculum that includes the cultures and identities of minoritized students? Is it a faculty that mirrors the student body? All right, your Senate needs to decide what that vision is and be ready to do some hard work for the gains you may not see. All right, you are student leaders and your role is to create a better college for those who come after you. It is striving for institutional changes that may not materialize until after you transfer. All right, this is the responsibility of true leadership. All right, and like I said, I love me some Hamilton, so I'm gonna leave you with a quote by Lin-Manuel. All right, it's towards the end of the play. All right, legacy. What is legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. All right, so I think with that, we probably have like 10 minutes of Q&A.
Yes.
Do it.
I'm going to stop sharing so we can see everyone's face. Good. Did I stop? Yes.
You're stopped. You're good. Yep.
Yes.
Sorry, we went over.
And here's the thing, I never go over. Usually Jeremy is the one, and I don't know, I guess it was my excitement, so I did this time. My apologies. Any question? Great job, Jeremy.
Do we have our chat monitor? Do we have any questions in the chat? I don't know if we have one for this session, actually. There might not be.
I see a comment about demographics regionally, and I'll just say that the State Chancellor's Office does have a data mart that gives us the demographics of faculty, staff, administrators based on district, college, and I think there's a third one. My region might be one of them.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that question. I think there's also a question about, I don't know if you'd be able to answer this, but how this is broken down between CCC's state and also the UC system.
Yeah. Do you know, Jennifer?
I kind of heard it. I'm sorry. You said that, how do you break down the divide between the CSU system?
I think it's the demographics between us, the community colleges, the CSUs, and the UCs. Like, are they? I'm assuming that's what Jen means.
Yeah.
The faculty demographics and administrative demographics. I'd assume it's probably pretty close.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's a report. Yeah, I know, my eyes. So there's a report called the Left Out Report that gives all the demographics for the UC and CSU and the community college, all the California institutions, and it's no better. And so I would encourage someone to read it's called Left Out Report, and you'll be able to get a sense of the data.
Thank you. Alrighty, scrolling through, making sure we didn't miss any questions. If anyone has questions, feel free to raise your hand or just go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll get to you. Okay, doesn't look like there's any questions. So I think we're good. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap us up here real quick. I do have one more slide to share with everyone. So first, I want to thank our presenters for being here with us. What an empowering workshop. I saw you two present at the DEI committee, and I was just so inspired, and I wanted to bring them here to educate our students and connect with our students. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here. I think, our students definitely got a lot out of it. And so I just want to put this last slide up here, just for all our students to remain connected with us. We are on social media, so Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. This is our username for all of those. And so if you want to keep connected with us and see what other opportunities come up that we have available for you, please go ahead and follow our social media and we'll let you know. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and end the workshop here. Thank you so much for both of you again, just for being here. We really appreciate your presence.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.